Hey everyone, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's masterclass. So, can you guys give me a quick thumbs up if you're able to hear me and see me clearly? We will begin in just few minutes. Give a quick thumbs up. Good afternoon, Ansari. Good afternoon. Guys, please put yes or thumbs up in the chat if you are able to hear me and see me clearly. Great, great, great. Awesome. So now, guys, we will start this session. Thank you for being here. And today we will explore one of the most frequently asked questions I receive. I have received multiple times on LinkedIn and other platforms. The challenges faced by non-tech students transitioning into data science field. So there are a lot of students from non-tech. And when I say non-tech, it's like non-computer science, non-IT domain students. They are from engineering background, from mechanical, from electrical, etc., and it can be non-engineering as well. Those students, they want to transition into data science and they want to ask whether they are the right candidate or not, what are the challenges they are going to face, and at the end of it, how they can overcome to finally get into this particular career, right? So this topic sparks a lot of curiosity. And in this session, my whole job is going to be to break it down in detail so that all of you guys who have joined, you get the understanding at the end that how you should proceed forward. So guys, I am Alok Anand. I am Alok Anand, co-founder and dean of Alma Better University. With over 8 years of experience as a data scientist and ML engineer, I have had the privilege of coaching now, I think, more than 5,000 students over the past 4 years, and many of whom came from non-tech background, right? So as Alma Better stands for first job in tech domain, we started with this mindset, and right now also we are trying to solve that we will help you with first job in tech domain. And there I have had, as I mentioned, lot of students I have interacted with, lot of students from non-tech background I have interacted with. And in today's session I will share some key insights which I have got from those students, how they navigated it, and how you can also navigate through this transition successfully. And joining me, we will have Sanjeev Gupta, engineer at UPL, and he is alum of Alma Better. He will walk you through his inspiring journey. Again, as I mentioned, this session is from non-tech to data science. Sanjeev is from non-tech background and he established himself in the field of data science. So he will be talking about his journey in detail as well. So all of you guys, please utilize this session. Please utilize this opportunity to get your doubts resolved. Utilize the platform, the chat and the Q&A section to ask your doubts. And we are here to solve it. We are here to answer all your doubts. We will ensure that all the doubts are cleared at the end. So stay tuned, guys. Stay excited. Soon Sanjeev will also be joining. But we will start the session with the first thing is going to be the opportunity. So the whole agenda of this session, I'm going to break it down into 3 to 5 points. The first thing would be the opportunity. So what is the opportunity in this field? How do we understand the field of data science? How do we differentiate data analyst versus data scientist? How your whole journey looks like from a fresher to successful, or I would say not successful, but experienced person successfully worked on lot of projects. Then it goes to roadmap. So what should be the roadmap you should follow? What is going to be the role of Alma Better? So we will have admission counselor as well. You guys can have interaction with that person to get further understanding about how Alma Better plays role in this. Then after that, we have Sanjeev. Sanjeev will share his journey, and then at the end, we will take all the questions which you guys have asked. Now, in between, also, I might take few questions. I will take you through slides, through some slides. If I find any question relevant to that particular slide, I will take then and there. Otherwise, it all of the questions will be covered at the end of the session. Overall, this session will take 1.5 hours. We will cover it by 1:15 to 1:30. So in 1:30 hours, so it will be completed by 3:30 almost. Okay. All right, guys. So I hope you guys are excited. Let's start with the first pointer, that is the opportunity. Now, to understand whether as a non-tech or any person who is interested in the field of data science, the first thing they might be hearing lot of things in the right now in the market, right? On internet, everywhere you hear about AI, everywhere you hear about ML, you hear lot of buzzwords like this, and you are confused actually what these guys do. If somebody is data scientist, what they do, right? You think about they are some kind of musician. I have interacted with a lot of students and I see their reaction that, okay, data scientist, what do they do? Like, how come I hear a lot of things about self-driving cars, etc., etc.? So how do I understand about what is the core job of data scientist? And I'll try to break it down in very small parts so that you guys understand it very clearly. So here I have given four different work of data scientists, not limited to this, but these things you might have heard about already. So thing is, as a data scientist, you are utilizing the data, you are utilizing the information to ensure that machine has taken that data, understood that data and or information, and then at the end of it, that information is utilized to perform further action. That's what self-driving car do, right? That's what self-driving cars do. They take the environment, so they have the pre-recorded information of how they should behave in certain situation, and then when car is moving live, then it will gather the data about the current environment, if there is something in front of it, if there is something side of it, how they should behave. That logic, that is called as machine learning. Machine learning the situation how to behave, right? That's what data scientists do. They take the data information, feed it in the machine in a certain format, and ensure that machine will learn it through some algorithm, and then in future if there is some action to be done, machine will be able to perform. That's what data scientists do, right? Now, this is one of the example. This is again a very complicated one to understand. That self-driving car in itself is like you are replacing a human being. It's a very complicated stuff. We will go to little bit simpler side of it to understand it further. Power AI or the AI assistants and chatbots, right? AI assistants and chatbots you guys have been using now, almost now. I'm 100% sure that here most of the people, if you have joined this session, some kind of chatbot you already have interacted with. And that chatbot, how that chatbot is replying to you with relevant stuff. In fact, take the example of ChatGPT itself. ChatGPT has been fed with billions and billions of data, with billions of parameters which it has learned, and now it is able to give you relevant answer based on what questions you are asking. Same thing. Do you realize now there is one aspect that is common over here as well? So when I talked about the chatbots, here also the chatbot, when it is trying to understand your question and trying to give you the relevant answer, how it has done it, some data scientist, some person, that person has given some data with some prior information. If this is what the question is, this should be the right answer or near to the right answer. And like that, there are thousands, lakhs of data that is fed to the machine, and then machine try to understand. Now, when I am saying try to understand, how does that work? How data scientists make machine learn? That is something which you learn as being a data scientist. When you learn through the journey, when you learn through all of the structured curriculum, let's say when you go through all these things, when you go through machine learning algorithms, data decision tree, linear regression, these are the simplest one. It goes to XGBoost, deep learning, etc., etc. All these are at the end ways to make machine learn to give the final output, right? Now the other half, we have preventing financial fraud. So when I was working at American Express, there I was in a team of, I was part of a team of fraud detection. So there I used to create this model. I was part of other team as well, collection model. So everywhere when somebody is doing the transaction, that model, that machine learning model, and that model you will understand when you start your journey. Just understand this, that there is some machine which looks at your transaction, what you are trying to do, and determines whether this transaction is genuine or fraud, right? So somebody else can take your credit card and do the transaction, try to buy something using your credit card, versus you, when you go on the shop and try to buy something, it will try to detect the difference between these two. What is your pattern? What is your pattern of transaction? What type of goods you buy, what type of items you buy. That pattern it will try to identify versus somebody else. If they are using it, immediately it will be flagged. It will be considered as fraud transaction, and that transaction will be declined. And if you, I'll tell you one thing. So there were almost a team of 200 around people working on this particular model. Just imagine how big it was. 200 people was working on fraud detection model in American Express. So that's the level of seriousness, that's the level of whole solutioning required to get the final answer that whether this transaction is fraud or not. It might look very simple, but when you go deeper into this, you will understand that how important it is for the company to ensure that these type of transactions are checked properly to enhance the customer experience. Now, the fourth point which I want to come to is revolutionize healthcare. Now, these, again, I don't have to emphasize, you know, the importance of the healthcare and the importance of having lot of doctors or healthcare professionals in with us, but it's not possible to have lot of them, because you can understand the limitation, the level of complexity it requires for any doctor to go through to become that trained person. So considering all the population around us, right, considering lot of people around us, you need to have some support of machine which can at least ensure it will not replace doctor. As of now, in near future, nobody will say that it will directly replace doctors. It will always go parallel with doctor, where it will ensure that, let's say, if any doctor who is not trained yet enough, so there is a difference in experience, somebody having experience of 15 years versus 5 6 7 years, somebody who has the experience of 5 6 7 years, he has not seen enough inform enough instances, then that machine can help him with few cases, let's say looking at x-rays, looking at some ultrasound, looking at other things. In fact, the robotic surgery is already in motion. So there are a lot of things right now happening in the world, and at the end of it, wherever there is a case of learning, making sure that machine learns and there is an intelligence with the machine, there always some data scientist is working on. Now all four here, these are the most talked about things, right? You might have heard about these things most of the time, that okay, drive self-driving cars, chatbots, then we have financial fraud, healthcare. Apart from this also, there are a lot of other things which data scientists they work on, and that is some also something I want to put a light on, so that you guys understand that what you guys will be getting into as a career. Now, one very interesting question I see by Ansari: training a machine on a large data set through a supervised and unsupervised pattern. Exactly right. So, training a machine on a large data set through supervised or unsupervised. So, right now, I'll not get into the terminology supervised or unsupervised. These are machine learning terms. It relates to the label or not, whether there is a label or there is no label. So, there are some algorithms like linear regression for supervised, clustering for unsupervised. So, these are the technical things which, if anybody is interested, he might be going through in this curriculum. But at the end of it, yes, this is what data scientists will do, AI engineers also do, where you have data, you take it, and then you train the machine to perform the task further. Now, taking you guys towards the next side, where it's not just about the hi fi things like self driving cars. All the data analysis and the science towards the data, it drills down to very small things of the company now. Company, they want to take data driven decision as much as they can. They don't want to just do a guess. Okay, how many students are going to join in this masterclass? How many students are going to, let's say, uh, complete the program or something like that? All these things we don't want to guess now. We want to take the call based on the data available to us. We know that in past 6 months what has happened, past 1 year what has happened. So that is what now all the companies are doing, and that is why now people with experience of data, in fact in all the roles, people are now asking whether you have understanding about how to deal with data, how to analyze the data. It has become so important just because of the reason that more data driven you are, more informed decision you will be taking, and better chances would be that you don't fail in your actions. So now That is where I wanted to make a point, that it is not just about the big things. Now small poor parts of all the projects everywhere, that data inform, the way how we deal with data has been incorporated. So let's take the example of e-commerce. I'll give you four different industries over here. So I'll start with e-commerce. So first one is e-commerce: Amazon, Miso, Mintra, Flipkart. These names I'm sure all of you guys are aware about. So the first thing is, you have product recommendations, fraud product detection, chatbot development, image and voice recognition. Now you might have seen that in Mintra you can go click on voice, and then you can say what product you want to buy, and then it will be recommended to you. This might look very simple. Just imagine now that how many different types of voices are there, how many different accents are there, how many different languages are there. So there are so many things that particular feature or product has to take into consideration, and all of these have been done by, again, AI engineers, data scientists in collaboration with developer as well. But how it will perform, what type of recommendation will be shown, that is dependent on the data scientist or the AI engineer working as a team. Next, when we go to OTT platforms, we have Netflix, Sony Live, Prime Video, Hotstar. All of you guys are now maybe better than me, you guys, knowing these platforms. So here, content recommendation, auto-generated thumbnails. This is something which I want to highlight now. Now, one thing which you guys should be aware about, in Netflix, specifically, I know about Netflix, where you have your thumbnail of each and every movie and shows, it is generated based on your interest, and it is personalized based on which category you fall in. If you, let's say, really like action movies, in most of the movies and shows, the thumbnail will be kind of snapshot of some action itself, so that you click and you go further. Now, the summary also which you see of 30-40 second, when you just hover around any shows or movie, there is a 30-40 second summary shown to you. That is also very personalized according to the country, according to the interest, according to lot of other factors they kind of consider. So why they are doing it? Because at the end of it, they want you to explore that show. They want you to spend some time over there, and at the end, continue with watching, right? So that is how they think about it. And more you watch, more addicted or more habitual you are going to be, and more habitual you are going to renew your subscription. This is how company thinks, and this is how, as a data scientist also, you have to think about it. What are the things which you have to work on at the end, which will translate to company's benefit, right? Subtitle generation, I don't have to mention this. You have a video and subtitle generation. It might look simple, that maybe you have movie in English and you are generating the subtitle in English. That is maybe easy. But now that subtitle can be in Korean, can be in different languages. Now that is something where you, if you go and find somebody who will write it down, it will take a lot of time. Now it's all about, all of these are fed into some machine learning algorithm. It gives you the output, and then you put somebody to do the quality check, if that subtitle makes sense or not, if somebody needs to be, if something needs to be rechecked, or kind of removed from there, or do some changes over there. So all these things right now, what you see in front of you might be a simple thing, might be a simple feature, but lot of different people, they are right now working on these things to make it available for you. Next, food tech. So in food tech, personalized discounts. Lot of times you will see the discounts what you have been given versus somebody others. It will be lot different. Personalized restaurant recommendation. Now, based on your interest, restaurant will be recommended. In fintech, as I mentioned, fraud detection. Gen AI based algorithmic trading is happening right now. So there are so many things at the end right now happening in this particular world, in different industries, and there is no industry that is untouched by the field of data science. So as a tech, earlier when this whole phase of technical advancement started, there were developers who came in picture. But now the whole thing has translated into that we need to utilize the data and put it in the system, so that all the stakeholders are benefited out of it, whether it is customer or internal or CXOs, CEOs. Everybody will utilize the data and the information for their benefit. So now, next is all these things which I talked about, right? It gives you a validation in mind that just understand how deeply it has ingrained in the workings of all the companies. For us, it's very important to track how many people are signing up, what kind of activities they are doing, what people are liking, what people are not liking, where we have to work on, where we should be proud of, all those things, right? We get that information from the data itself, from the all the activities which our student do, right? All those things we get for us to analyze it further to give the best experience. That's what all the companies they try to do. Now, because of all these having in the process very deeply ingrained, you need people who are expert at this, you need people who know how to utilize the data best. So if somebody who is not good at, or who is not aware about how to perform some operation on data, he will have very limited understanding of how to utilize it. But as a data scientist, as a data analyst, you will have all the tools in your quiver. You will have all the tools with you like Python, SQL, etc., etc. We will come to that part. Those things are going to be helpful to you at the end to analyze the data and large chunks of data. So you will see billions and billions of rows you have to kind of analyze to make sense out of it, and that can be done only by person who has some understanding about how to approach it, right? Somebody who is seeing the chart, who is a data scientist, he can take 100 things out of it, versus somebody who is just a naive person, right? So you have to become a person who can look at some charts, who can look at some data, derive some insights, give some suggestion to companies, so that company can work on those things to further improve their system. So that's how it works. And because of all these things, now every company, they want somebody who has the understanding, and that is why you see the growth in traditional job versus now AI related jobs. Data scientists, the AI engineers, ML engineers, different roles are there, and for all those roles you will see overall there has been growth in past few years. And the reason over is there is an increased IT jobs because of this whole data. All the companies, they adopting the internet, everything around this, it is ensuring that more and more IT related jobs are right now being produced, right? There are a lot of opportunities coming in. And then only reason is because every company, each and every company, they are having some part on the internet. Very rarely you will see, except your local vendor, they also have now website, some kind of app or something or the other on WhatsApp they are doing. But if you look at in a broader sense, every company, either they have some presence on online, or they are associated with some marketplace like Amazon or Flipkart to sell their products. So all of them, they have some kind of these setup where they need IT professional to take it forward. They have the data, they want to take action on those data, looking at what are the different insights from there. Now, next part is because of these AI coming in, right? There is one very famous quote going around in the companies and in the whole world, that now is the era of automation with intelligence. Earlier, 10 years back, it was all about automation. Everything which was like, let's say, manual, putting it in register, now it has come to the online platform. In fact, now all the government officials, they also use laptop. They also use, not even if they are not using laptop, they definitely use system. And there you will see all the platforms are there where data is entered, everything is logged digitally. So at the end of it, that phase of automation has come, and next phase is automation with intelligence. Now, whatever you see, the automation, there will be a factor of intelligence coming in. There will be a factor of intelligence where roles like some administrative functions, some support functions will have the parallel of AI support, where it has some intelligence. There will always be person who will be involved over there. I am very skeptical on this, that any role will be eradicated to zero. It will never happen. There will always be a support of AI and that AI will have some intelligence to take it forward. Now, point is how you are, how you can leverage your understanding over there, right? How easy your job is to get replicated, or how easy your job, or how much mind you put in your job. That is how I should be defining this. So if you put your mind to your job, if there's lot of your mind work is going on, it's not repetitive enough, then your job will always be there, and you will, work with AI to kind of get things done. But if your job is repetitive, then in that case it will get automated at the end of it. So from your end, whatever role you are working in, however you are right now thinking about, think in that direction, that I should be more towards the thought process, research, and etc etc, which will ensure that as a job you will always have in your hand. And the role of data science, in fact the role of developer as well, even though it seems like okay, it's an IT job, you might be hearing that data scientist job will get replaced by AI, but you will hear from Sanjeev is right now working as an engineer at UPL, as I mentioned, right? He will mention about how difficult it is, what all things he is working on, and he will also talk about like how difficult it is to replace data scientist per se, because as a data scientist you will have very few repetitive things. Of course you code, but more than you code, you have to derive the insight, you have to make sense of what you are trying to say and what action companies should take. So all those aspects are there. There will be automation of repetitive jobs, but there are some roles which has high growth in the future. And at the end, if you are getting into this field of data science, reskilling is very critical. You have to keep on skilling yourself. So after even 8+ years of experience, I had to learn all the Gen AI and everything, because it came last year. In fact, it came into existence last year only, when everybody kind of started using it, although we were aware about it 3 years back as well. But now I have to upskill myself, and everybody has to do that. It's not something which is optional. If you are not doing it, you are obsolete from the market. So you have to keep on upskilling yourself. You have to get into that zone that I will keep on learning I will keep on learning, I will keep on thriving in my job, and at the end I will enjoy this whole career where something has long term benefit, something has high growth. Now all you have to do is always make sure you are doing your best, you are giving some time to it. You don't have to study 8-10 hours every day, but at least you have to give 3 to 4 hours on a weekly basis. That's how it goes. I'm not saying that every day you have to give 10 hours. So this is how it is transferred. Now after this, there is something which you guys have to keep it in mind, that there is a growth, there is a scope where if you get in right now, in next 5 to 10 years, there is a scope of this field getting more matured and giving you reward at the end. Now you have to understand as a fresher that your role, how do you understand this field of data science? In fact, I have seen in the first class, generally when I take and when I interact with students, they are very skeptical about what is the difference between data analyst versus data scientist. As a fresher, how should I think about my career? How should I think about, if I am interested in this, what should be the first step, how it should go further from here? So now this is where I want to talk about data analyst versus data scientist, because after this session, all of you guys should have the clear understanding about the difference between these two. The first term, when you hear about data scientist or data analyst, one thing which I want to make sure very clearly, right, you guys understand is that both of these, data analyst versus data scientist, both of these, in fact there are other terms as well, AI engineer, ML engineer, or product analyst, business analyst, all these comes under the field of data science. All of these, right, these terms which you can see over here on screen, all these comes under the field of data science. All these are under the field of data science. Now when you are thinking about choosing a career, you are thinking to choose a career in the field of data science, right? That's how it is right now in your mind. So now the field of data science, as I mentioned, it will have a long term career, it will have long term prospects, right? Just give me. Yep. So it will have long term prospects over here. As a fresher, when you started, right? As a fresher, when you started, you are going to work on something which will help you with the initial phase, and then as you get more and more experience, you get towards more complex things. Now this initial and the complex part, before I get there, let me talk about few things which you see on screen. And there are two terms very clearly highlighted over here. One is diagnostic, one is diagnostic analysis, another one is predictive analytics. So all of you guys here in the chat joining from different platforms, you should understand the difference between diagnostic and predictive, and then we will come to the initial phase, how you, what you will be working on versus in the coming future after having some experience, how do you, how your role kind of translates. So when you start your journey, right, the first thing which you will be encountered with is diagnostic analysis. This term diagnostic analysis, it's very much a familiar term, I believe, that all of you guys, when you go to doctor, then doctor gives you some test, and that is diagnosis. Doctor wants to diagnose what is there in the body, what's the problem. Might be some effect as fever or cough or cold, but doctor wants to see what are the key factors that is driving, or that is the reason for this fever, right? So that test, blood test, etc., etc., whatever you do, that is the part of diagnosis. That is true for data scientists or in the field of data science as well. There is something called as diagnostic analysis. Now the simple thing over here is, let's say this year, right, it is March right now, in April, manager will come to you and he will tell you that from the last year, this year our revenue was down by 5%. So how much we earned? We have earned 5% less in this year compared to the previous year. Then tell me, what is the reason for this? What's the reason of that drop of 5%? What are you going to do? You will start the diagnosis. You will start the root cause analysis, RCA. Diagnosis you will do. You will try to check this year what all products you have sold, in what areas you have sold versus last year. Is there any difference over there? Is there any dip in the quality of product? Are there any competitors coming in? Are there have we kind of done less investment in marketing or something or the other, some factor you will try to analyze, you will try to diagnose the whole situation. That's how it goes as a diagnostic analysis. So you utilize the past data to say what is the reason of something. What's the reason of something, you try to analyze. And it can be reason, it can be some normal analysis as well. Let's say there is a marketing going on, you might be hearing about Great Indian Festival by Amazon or Big Billion Day by Flipkart. So these companies, when they kind of run these kind of campaigns, it's a very big campaign. You as an analyst try to check how this year's Big Billion Day has performed, or what product is working, what product is not working, what kind of discount should be given. So all these things comes under diagnostic analysis, where you utilize the past data to tell right now in the present why something has happened and how it has happened, something like that, right? That is called as diagnostic analysis. And in our case as well, when we go to doctor, doctor looks at your test report and say, okay, this right now is symptom of this. That is why you, I can see some glucose is up, some other factors are up or down. Because of these factors, I can see this might be the reason of your fever or any symptom that is being shown, right? That is called as diagnostic analysis. Now what happens, there is another side where what we called as predictive analytics. So the question now is, let's say this year's you have done the analysis, this year's revenue went down by 5%. Now try to give me the forecast or predict for the next year. Tell me next year what will be the range of our revenue, so that accordingly everything should be kind of tuned up. How much investment should be done, how much people should be there, etc., etc. Look at the market, whether market is shrinking, etc., etc. Next year, what is going to be the revenue car range? This is called as predictive. So one part is I utilize the past data to tell why something has happened, or how something has happened. Another side is where we predict, right? I Another side is I want to predict what's going to happen in the future. That's the predictive analytics. So as you start your journey as a fresher, yes, So, as a fresher, when you start your journey, the first thing which you will work on is diagnostic analysis. The future and the future prediction, somebody will trust on you when you have some experience, when you have some experience of doing all these. So, freshers very rarely, but most of the people who have some years of experience will get to work on predictive analysis. Now, person who works on predictive analytics, generally they are termed as data scientist, although not necessarily. There are a lot of different designations, but just understand this. The person who works on predictive analysis, they are called as data scientist. And person who works on diagnostic analysis, they are called as data analyst. Okay, they are called as data analysts. They utilize the past data to tell in the present what has happened and how it has happened. There are different things. As a fresher, you start it over here, and it is going to be 98% of time you will start with this. No matter, even if you are hired as data scientist, doesn't matter, you will start with diagnostic itself, right? You will start with this. Next is, here you have different other terms you might have heard about: market analyst, risk analyst, business analyst, product analyst. What are these terms? So let's say, when any data analyst, when they work with marketing team, they are called as market analyst. When any person who is data analyst work with finance team or business team, they will be called as risk analyst or business analyst. When you work with product team, then you are called as product analyst. So that's how it is, in which team you are working and what problem statement you are working on. All of these are going to be all of those will determine what is going to be your designation. At the end of it, you are a data analyst itself, but since you are working with some specific team, that's why you are called as market analyst, because you're working on working with marketing team. And here there are other terms like ML engineer, AI engineer, which is kind of going above and beyond of just predicting. You try to deploy it, make it available for millions of users. Lot of other things are there where you go deeper into deep learning, then you called as AI engineer. You work on images, you work on text, etc., etc. So there is a whole paradigm of it. But as a fresher, when you are starting it off, the thing which you have to keep it in mind is, you will start with diagnostic analysis. You should learn how to analyze the data for some problem statement. More than prediction, this is what you have to perfect yourself. Okay. All right. So, guys, give me a quick yes in the chat if until now things are making sense. Please put yes in the chat. If any question is there, if anything, and I will answer. I'm from non-technical background, but I want to enter into technical field. Great. So we will talk about that. Yes. So I hope it is making sense to all of you guys. Thank you so much, guys. Now we will go ahead with the next topic. So something now I want to tell you, all of these what I was talking about, people have people are confused about that, whether I'm if I'm from non-tech background, how much it's going to be lucrative for companies to hire me, right? Company will put a very clear in our college, right? This used to happen that specifically for this particular department or this particular stream only I am going to hire. This should be the criteria, etc., etc. How does that work? If I'm non-tech background, if I'm from non-tech background, whether I will be even eligible for different companies if they are coming to us, right? So now I want to give a very clear picture of what happened in the last year, 2024. What was the whole scenario? In fact, till I'm talking about here, the data which you see, it's almost till September, October, right? So here, if you talk about the first preference, companies when they come to us, what they ask us, what they tell us in terms of how what type of students they want, their specific ask is always, I need some platform understanding, let's say Python, SQL, and I need somebody who is, let's say, good at Power BI. This is a BI tool, business intelligence tool. If you guys have joined this session, you might have some understanding about this. Vishal, it is live. It is live. You can ask your doubts in the chat. I will answer your question. All right. So these kind of questions, these kind of requirements, companies, they bring it to us. They have the specific question about the skills, not the background, not the engineering, non-engineering, etc., etc. Right? And this we have seen almost more than 65%, where they respect your skill, or requirement of skill has more weightage than anything else. Other side is stream or college. Now if I talk about in this, stream itself is a major chunk of the requirement. Let's say companies if company is dealing with, let's say, healthcare, or company is dealing with finance, they will ask for that if somebody is from certain background plus they have the understanding of data science. That's how it goes. Like companies like Flutura, right? Flutura is right now, Flutura is doing some analysis on manufacturing, and their whole segment is manufacturing industry itself. They ask for if somebody is from mechanical background having data science experience or data science understanding will be preferred. So these kind of preference they put, right? If some banks are coming to us, they ask for finance background. So it is very diverse. Some companies who specialize in, let's say, marketing, they ask for if somebody's having, let's say, MBA or marketing background plus data science. So that kind of requirement next comes in. And third is English or regional. So a lot of times companies, they have the specific requirement. Basic English and communication is always important. That's why we focus a lot during our curriculum as well. But here at the end of it, companies, they have some requirement of regional, they have some requirement of English, where they have clients in, let's say, USA or in some other countries. So they ask for certain those requirements. So that's how it goes. So at the end, what I want to mention from here is that you have to be first sure in your mind. Give your time to this. Okay, I want to pursue this career. If you have the right skill, nobody is going to stop you to start your journey. All you have to think about is, from non-tech background, there will be challenges. We will come to that part as well. We will come to how you are going to kind of take your learning forward from where you should start. I have not come to that part. I'm just telling you the positive signs which you can rely on to start your career, right? With alma mater, without alma mater, doesn't matter. You have joined this session to make your mind kind of aligned with whether you should be going ahead with or not. And I can tell you the instances of more than 2000, 3000 students out of 5000. I will tell you rough number. In fact can be more than them, more than that, not less, who were from non-tech background, and they have made it at the end. So you have to be very sure about the positive signs. And at the end, what will matter is the skill which you are going to gain, and that skill will help you to gain the experience and clear the interviews, etc. etc. Now, we will come to this career trajectory in data science field in the next slide in a better manner. So here, as we started, I mentioned about when you are starting your career and when you are kind of starting your career as analyst, you work on diagnostic analysis. There you take the past data, try to create some charts, try to create some dashboard, taking some insights, saying why something has happened, how something has happened. That is going to be your job initially. And your salary, in fact, it can be below as well, 4 4.55 to लेकर के 10 10.5 15 तक जा सकता है. But point is that as a entry level, this is going to be somewhere your average of people will be 6.5 to 8 LPA. If you have some experience, maybe not related, but some experience in the field, then it can go 8 to 10 LPA as well. But in general, the average is going to be now in this market 5.5, 6.5 to 7 LPA. That's the average overall right now going on. Next, when you get more experience, range becomes higher, CTC of course, but now you are as a mid-level, you need deployment understanding, ML engineering. So when you grow in your career, as I mentioned, you have to upskill yourself. When I started my journey, I was working as data analyst at American Express. Then slowly, after years of experience, I got into ML engineering, where I started working on deployments, where I started working on marketing, any modeling we have, any model we have, how do we deploy it for different markets, for US market, for India market, for different markets, how do we kind of think about those things. So that is what comes in the with the experience when you go forward. And when you go even more experience when you have, when I kind of started working at, let's say, Blackberg, where I had relevant experience with, we started working with large scale system designs, right? Like notification to be sent to millions of users. It might seem very easy, but how it should be sent, how many times I should be sending, what should be the content. These kind of small things it might look, but there is a whole scale of system design which it requires. And then as you kind of go more experience, you have everything in your hand, you have the relevant journey with you. This is how you kind of take it forward, right? This is how you kind of take it forward from here. So these are the things which I want to talk about. It's all about the opportunity, right? What we wanted to talk about was the first thing, the opportunity, which you have to keep it in mind, right? Everything is there. You have opportunities which you can crack, but the one thing which will stand out is your skill. How do you present yourself? How good are you in hard skills and soft skills? Hard skills, it means different tools, coding, then you have any algorithm which you need to learn, or dashboarding, or SQL. I'll come to all those points, what all skills you need. But the skill part is going to be important for you. If you have that, you might see a lot of people getting into this, but you will make it through definitely, because every month, every year, we have seen lots and lots of students taking their journey through. You can also do it. So just keep that in mind. And now you have to think about what should be your roadmap, how you should be moving forward from here. Now, before I go here, I will take Visal's question. I'm 2016 pass out mechanical engineering, having 4 years of experience in non-IT. Uh, but I'm interested to shift my career from non-IT to IT background. Is it so, Vishal? You have joined the right session. Sanjeev, who will be joining in just few minutes, he is also from mechanical background, and he has, I think, he has also 3 4 years of experience in different fields, not technical. So you will find his challenges and his experience a lot relatable, right? Just wait for some time, hear him out, and he will answer your question. Okay. All right. So now, here, when I talk about the starting your career, first thing which you need to understand is what companies want, right? It might look very simple and, very cliche kind of answer, but the first thing, because it took us 3 4 years to kind of, 3 4 years to kind of figure it out what companies want, because a lot of companies, it's not standardized. Everybody has their own way of kind of taking it through. So you have to understand what companies want. So what role you want to get in? Data analyst. As a fresher, when you want to start it, your role should be data analyst, what you are targeting. Now, for data analyst, what all things company require? So, the first thing, what foundation skill you should be building? So, foundation skills are Python, SQL, GenAI, and bit of MLOps. I will come to that. Once you have gotten it, if you want to stand out, if you want to put some extra stars on your resume, then you have some certifications from global institutions, some structured learning. If you do, then that gives a extra badge on your resume. And then at the end, you go through the personalized, let's say, mock interviews, career guidance, how you should be preparing yourself, because it might look easy to go through or learn Python, but when it is asked during the interview that right now I'm giving you this question, solve it in front of me, that is a different game altogether. So from there to this confidence, that if somebody is giving you question in interview, because in interview itself is very difficult situation, it becomes very difficult in terms of even simple question becomes tough. How do you keep yourself calm and take it through? So from what companies want to understanding that, building those skills, getting good portfolios in your resume, and at the end, going through interviews, personalized career guidance to make yourself comfortable, you will through your journey, you will be able to make it. Now it might seem very difficult at the start, but now let me kind of break it down. Now point here is, I will take the reference of Alma Better curriculum. You can go through that. We have mentioned topics and everything very clearly, so that you also understand what all things you should be going through, and at the end, how you can kind of get yourself ready for the job. Now point is, all these topics are available to you. If you want to cover it, if you want to cover it on your own, whatever you want to do, it's totally on you. My whole point is, I want to give you not just here, I want to give you not just the overall understanding of Python, SQL, etc., etc. I want to give you the modules as well as what all topics are important, and that's what you will get on our platform in a very structured, clear manner. And these are the topics. Now, for let's say if I talk about Python only, Python can you can take 1 year, 2 years, and then also you cannot say that I am master at it, right? You cannot say you are master at it. You have to ensure that within a short span of time, you cannot spend 4 years now to get the job. You have, let's say, 6 to 8, 10, 11 months, 12 months, let's say maximum. And within that time, what all relevant things you should be focusing on. So if you look at from that perspective, there are some key topics which you should go through so that you become ready for job. So in our curriculum overall, if I talk about, this is master's curriculum, masters in computer science, AI and ML. I'll take this as a reference. Our admission counselor will be joining. If you want to explore this further and understand this further, admission counselor Pratiksha will be joining in some time. She will take you through, but I'll give you the understanding about the track and the modules and what all things you should be covering from the learning side of it as a dean of Alma Mater University, how I have thought about and my team has thought about to give you the best direction possible. Now, the first thing, when you start your journey, there can be different starting point. You start with SQL, you start with Excel, but how what we believe is you should always start with Python, right? Because Python is something which is complete in itself. When you learn Python, you get yourself in the zone of technical coding. And when you understand Python and basics of coding, rest everything looks very simple to you. And using Python, you can do the analysis, which we called as exploratory data analysis using Pandas and NumPy and Matplotlib. These are the packages. This is something which you should be starting with. This gives you a good head start to go further to everything. Now, the first thing which you should be doing, as I mentioned, you should go through the Python programming. So in Python programming, you have certain topics, data types, functions and methods, indexing, slicing, custom functions. How do you create oops? Now in oops, you have very, no, you don't have to go in detail, but there are something like polymorphism, encapsulation. These are the basic things which you should be aware about, and at the end, exception handling. This will take you, let's say, 1 month overall to go through this, to make yourself comfortable with this. Then after that, you have next part is going to be, once you're comfortable with Python, you go ahead with Pandas, you go ahead with visualization tools. How do you create a visual? Let's say this visualization like this, how you can create this visualization like this. How do you create these kind of visualization? So in Python, you have been given different libraries like Matplotlib, Seaborn, and different other packages like Pandas, which you use, right? Which you use to at the end, right? Which you use at the end to take your understanding about how to analyze the data. So if you have got the data, how do you analyze it? How do you take the charts? How do you take it forward? That's how it goes. Now, for the person from non-IT background, generally, now I am going to put it very clearly that here, in general, somebody who is from IT, he might take 6 months. In fact, he might take, in fact, 5 months as well. But for non-IT background, when you're starting it off, the initial two modules are going to be, when I talk about core Python and doing the analysis using Python language, it takes more than 3.5 months, right? Just because you have started your journey, you need some time to go through this whole thing. You have to be comfortable through this. The initial two modules, if you are able to take it through, then after that you have the easier thing to come in. So SQL is relatively easier than Python. I'm not saying it can be very perspective, it can be different for different person, but in general, looking at the maximum people, you will see that people are more comfortable with SQL than Python. Now, you go ahead with SQL, where you understand that how you can get the data from cloud, from different databases, how you use SQL to get the data. SQL becomes so important that even if you are basic in Python, if you are advanced level in SQL, you will definitely get placed somewhere. That's how important SQL becomes, because SQL is bread and butter of all the data scientists. Data, if you need to get the data, SQL is going to be useful always. So that's how important it is. So you will go through this, although very simple, but it's very, very important. Now, when you go through these three things, you have now got Python and SQL very clearly. After that, you have to go through BI tools. BI tools, business intelligence tools. So all the companies, including us, all the companies, everyone, they use some kind of dashboard to look at the important numbers. I need to look at the dashboard to see what are my revenues, how many students are completing, what is the feedback from students, how should we move forward. So there are a lot of other things which you look at in that particular dashboard. And for that, there are some very, very important tools which you should know, like Tableau, Power BI, Excel. These are the must have which you should know. And apart from it, there are like dashboarding, business KPIs. If somebody is from business background, you can put it in the chat. Do you understand this? What KPI is? KPI is key performance indicators for all the companies in e-commerce or any other industry. Just to understand the KPIs is very, very important for the analyst, because analyst, they are going to utilize the data and get all these numbers at the end. Yes, Ansari, key performance indicator. Correct, correct. Now, these four modules, right? Almost 4 to 5 months, 5.5 months, if I talk from non-IT background, if somebody is starting, right? So this is something where you have started until you come here from module 1 to module 4, right? Four modules when you talk about, then you have made yourself comfortable enough, right? Comfortable enough to start your, let's say, application journey. You can start applying for jobs, because until here you are kind of ready. But in lot of interviews now, they have started asking about, and they ask about the mathematics. So to learn machine learning further, you should know mathematics, as an analyst you should know basics of hypothesis testing, experiment design, uh, probability distributions, workflow management. Lot of things here you might not be using on a day to day basis in your project. In fact, whatever mathematics we learn, very rarely we use it directly, right? But you will see that these kind of questions are asked in interview. So for interview preparation, it is important. And there are things which you have to understand is all these, like web analytics, experiment design. These are business metrics. What all business metrics are there? As simple as CAC. So what do you understand by CAC? Customer acquisition cost, right? So these are the things, these are the simple terms. I told you one, there are hundreds of them, but you don't have to remember all of them, but you should be aware about it. Because when you are working as an analyst, you work with business people, you work with tech people, you work with different teams. You should know these terms so that you try to understand the business requirement over here. Now, after this fifth module, you have the sixth one where you talk about the machine learning. Now, as a fresher, machine learning, there is a level to it which you should be knowing. There is a level where you should be knowing the basics of it. Although we cover very much end to end to everything, where in machine learning you will have Gen AI, prompt engineering, NLP, computer vision. It will be covered end to a certain level where you have ML lifecycle, Flask API, ML ops. All these things are covered. But to be very honest, if you ask me as a fresher, do I need machine learning? I'll say yes, but initial three. That's it. Rest is something which you can go through, which will make you more confident. But looking at the statistics from our students data, from the companies, what they are asking, if you are kind of till M4, your chance is 75% you will get the job. If you complete till M5, your chance is 80 to 85%, 90% you will get the job. 10% again, when you complete it, it will be covered. But maximum chances you have to cover from M1 to M4, and then that's how it is going to be go forward. Now, this is something when I talk about as a fresher. Somebody asked here that I am from non-IT background, how do I start? This is how you start it. You start with hard skills. You start with Python programming. Now, after this, when you kind of, so in our program also, after you complete these six, your resume will start getting shared, etc. There is Almax program and everything goes on. If you are interested, you can have a discussion with admission counselor. That admission counselor will give you detailed explanation of all these, what our process is through the placement and etc. But just I'm giving you the understanding. So now once you cover these six modules, as a fresher, you are more than enough ready to start your journey from the hard skill point of view. Then, as I mentioned, as you go forward, right, as you have more and more years of experience coming in, how do you take your journey? So in that case, you have distributed machine learning, which you need to learn, big data. Then you have Hive. Lot of students, they start with big data because they have heard so many things about big data that they first learn about Hive, big data, then they get confused, and then they started from scratch. Okay, so that's not how it should be. It should start from the basic. These all big data productionization, when I talk about MLOps, creating API, Docker, Kubernetes, all of these are covered in the master's program. If you want to explore, you can explore it further. But just these are some things which you require with experience. And if you have these, then you are bulletproof kind of for the job, that's for sure. Then you have introduction to deep learning, so where you have TensorFlow, Keras, etc. Not getting into too much into this. Computer vision is how do you deal with images, object detection. You have CNN, different algorithms are there. Then deep learning for NLP. Here you talk about again the transformers, chat GPT. What you see, it's under the domain of NLP, natural language processing. It's all about how do you deal with text. Lastly, you have advanced machine learning. So in advanced machine learning, there are some algorithm which you should know, like market basket analysis, time series, etc., etc. So specialization track covers you for the future, and at the end you have research paper. This is specifically for the master's program which you go through. There are other certification program which you can go through, explore, but at the end my whole point is to take you through this curriculum which we have kind of gone through 3 years 4 years of experience from companies, what they require, what they kind of ask for. That is something which we have collated and provided you as a topic. So even if you go through each and every topic and kind of search about it, you will understand things. But through a structured learning, if you want to do, you can further go do sign up and have a discussion. That's totally on you at the end. Now, coming back coming back to our topic, I hope you guys have understood, and I will answer all your question in just some time, guys. This is what I want to talk about master's program at Alma Better at the end, right? Master's program at the end, these are the things more in detail. Admission counselor will talk about. There are some key highlights I want to talk about. So when we look at placement, this side is learning side is something which I talked about a lot, hard skill. But there are certain things which you should kind of keep it in mind, where you should work on the communication skills, guys. Communication skill is very very important when you are going through your placement journey. You should know how to communicate yourself. Doesn't matter, communication is not just about English. Even if your English is good, doesn't matter that doesn't mean that you are good at communication. You should know how to put your words forward. As an analyst, if some numbers you have taken out, in sub charts you have created, if you are not able to explain it, that chart has no value, or that visualization has no value, right? So how do you explain this, how do you connect the story? That also matters. So that is something which we focus a lot overall in the journey. So you guys should also think from that perspective as well, that you should work on your communication. For that, there will be another session, there will be different session where we will go further into that, drill down into it and understand how do you make your communication skill better. Now, going to the next, we have this master's journey. We have Alma X program. So if you guys are interested, you can have a discussion with admission counselor that what this Alma X program is, how does it fit in overall journey of our curriculum. So that Alma X program helps you train uh, for the real interviews. Alma X program has all the ingredients overall to ensure that you guys are confident, because the confidence is the key. थोड़ा बहुत अगर Python in SQL नहीं भी आता है, if you are confident during the interviewer, they are uh, considerate, right? Confident, when I say, if you miss out, because you will not be confident if you don't know something. You work on your weakness, you become more confident, but at the end you should be confident about how to present yourself. You have to face lot of new faces. So our whole agenda is, how do you make yourself comfortable, how do you make yourself confident? You are going to face multiple faces during your journey, multiple faces as an interview. That's how it goes. All right, so now going to the last piece of our conversation. We will take we will take each and every question, guys. We will take each and every question. Just hang in there. I'm here for all of you guys to take you through. Now, here is the further and the most interesting part of this session, and I'm sure I can see there are few students who are from non-technical background. You are keen to hear from the person of the day, the man of the hour. We have Sanjeev. So Sanjeev will be coming on stage. He will share about his journey from non-tech, what motivated him, how started his journey, the challenges he has faced, what he is working on right now in terms of from learning to the hands-on experience. How does that happen? So let's hear him out. Let's understand how it goes from his end, and let's try to get as much as possible from him. So let me bring him on stage.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alok sir, for hand.
Sanjeev, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. And here you can see all the students. They are super excited to hear from you. I'll make myself out of the stage. Stage is all yours. Please interact with students as much as you
Thank you so much. Hello and good afternoon, everyone joining in this event. So my name is Sanjeev Gupta, and if I talk about my background, I am from a mechanical background. I passed out in 2022 from Bhopal. I had done graduation in mechanical engineering, and after that I had worked 1.5 years for a consulting company based out in US. So it was a totally non-tech job I was working in. So from while working there, I got frustrated many times that what I am doing after all these efforts. I had done 4 years of engineering, and then I'm here to serve a consulting firm where there was no work life balance. So I decided to change my career from non tech background to tech background. So I started searching for the fields which are currently evolving in the market, or the fields which the future needs, the skills which the future needs in the upcoming engineers. So I found that data is a field where I can get a good future, and I can get a uh, good success in my future. So I started searching for the companies or courses where I can work. So I hope everyone once heard in their life that guru bina gyan adhura, that your education is incomplete without a mentor. So someone told me about algometer, one of my friend. So I came here, I spoke to one of the education counselor, and he got it from the entire journey, from the day one to the placement day, that how the curriculum will go, how the mentors will help, how the interviews will proceed, how I can get the placements. So everything went, I came into algometer. And without previously uh, I had inquired other institutions also about this course, but I found Alma Mater as the as the organization with the highest success rate among in this field. So I came in Adler Better, and I was a type of person who forgets everything regularly. So I started learning there. I the my first my first part of the learning was to learn Python. So I was previously a no coding person. So I don't used to code. Neither I had code in my college times or after that. So it was I can't say it was very hard for me to learn coding. It was little bit hard because I had just moved from a non-tech background to tech background, and I came up with the coding. I have to build logic. I have to write code. I have to debug the code. So it was quite interesting for me to do all this, because I had always seen in the background that if I do something, it happens, but I don't know how it happens. So when I started building logic and writing the code, I came to know that how in the backend everything happens, how the system runs, or everything happens. Then day by day, going on past, I learned SQL, Power BI, Tableau, and Excel. These all tools I had learned through Alma Mater, and I was not a consistent kind of person. Well, I used to leave anything in between. So it took me little longer to get the job from there. After entering into elevator, when I completed my learning field, so it took me 3 attempts to get into LMAX. Then I came up with a moment where I got to encounter Alok sir with one for a mock interview. There I learned much more about this field and what I have to learn and how I have to proceed. What are the skills I have to work upon further to improve myself to get a job in future. So this was the journey of elevator. After that, I got placed in January this year as a data engineer at UPL, which is based out in Bangalore. Before that, I came up with many challenges, but elevator helped at every step of the challenge. I was not able to build logic of code. I was not able to write SQL queries. I always stuck with some of the dashboards or KPIs while making any of the projects. So Alma support team helped me at every moment, and the mentors also helped me to overcome this fear. And one thing I like the most is the business communication session. I was not a kind of person who used to interact with anyone. So the business communication session, in that I used to interact with people. I used to share my thoughts, my feelings, and I used to put forward my ideas and suggestions to make anything happen or change anything. That I like the most. Currently as I told, I was working as a data engineer at UPL, where my job is to get the data from other data sources to my system for the further improvement and work upon that. So the data which I used to collect and process is used by the whole company, or I can say the whole organization is using that data. I used to work on Databricks and Data Factory. It's a kind of Azure tools. So that's all about my journey till now.
Thank you so much, Sanjeev. Thank you so much here. Because when you mentioned Guru Bina Gyan Kya, right? I remembered my guru who used to teach me a lot. So when I was in college, right, and that person so one teacher, he professor here, right? He used to teach us advanced statistical modeling. Okay, now you can imagine uh, the statistics in itself, right? When you start it off, it looks difficult, and that was advanced statistical modeling. And he used to tell us that, see, in the class of 1 hour, I'll not be able to do the justice. So just right now, whatever I'm telling you, these are the topics. Go read about it and come to me in my cabin if you have any question, right? And it's not, he was not joking. Of course, he was not trying to just get out of the class. He used to talk about those topics in detail. He used to give us a direction. And that direction used to tell us that, okay, how we should read about something, right? Because at the end, Sanjeev, when you mentioned this, I remember his point of view when he mentioned that, see, I am going to teach you something, I can tell you something, but at the end you have to understand. And for that, what I can do is I can give you the direction. And that helped us a lot, right now, if I talk about anything I know in statistics, I have to owe it to that, sir, right? So that's how it happens. So it was really great to hear from you, Sanjeev, and I'm sure all the students here who has joined, they must have understood your journey from non-tech to tech. uh, what you mentioned, that it was not difficult, but at the end you have to put out your time, right? So like Manoj is asking how many hours you used to study, right? All these questions, I know you can answer this, right? If you want, you can answer this. We will start it from here itself.
Okay, so as part of my working hours, on daily basis, we have a group of 5 people. So every night we used to sit for 2 hours from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. and we used to code in that time. And in the daytime, 1 or 2 hours, we manage our own selves to work on other technologies also.
Got it. So see, what I wanted you to answer this, but at the end of it, what I believe, right? If I talk about the in general term, 3 to 4 hours of study, 4 to 5 is max. 3 to 4 hours, if you do it seriously, it's good enough, right?
Yeah,
But everybody has their own speed as well, right? If you are able to, let's say, do it in 2 hours, let's say you go through the, you are not joining live classes, just giving an example to the to someone who has very limited time to go through the curriculum. You go through the live class on your own and try to cover it during weekends. Overall, on a daily basis, you give 1 to 2 hours maximum. That is also fine, and I have seen those kind of students also getting placed at the end. So it totally depends, but in general, as Sanjeev mentioned, right, 3 to 4 hours, something which you should be putting it, because at the end of it, if you want to get yourself confident in something, you have to put a consistent effort. So more than number of hours, it's consistency also that will matter.
yeah, it's the most important.
Correct. Now, one, let's start it from the beginning. So now it's the time for Q&A, guys. If we are not able to take your question, please put it in the Q&A section from chat. I'll try to take up all the important ones, but please start putting your question in the Q&A, so that me and Sanjeev will start taking them one by one. Okay, let me bring one of the questions so that we will start it. So during the start itself, Vishal and other students who joined this session, they asked about from mechanical. They are also from mechanical background, and they want to transition into this. So what I want to understand from you is, being from mechanical background, right? Uh, you've kind of, I will consider this as although engineering but non coding background itself, right? Where you had any, you mentioned that you had no coding experience during the college, right? What were the challenge, let's say, when you start with coding, right? When you start with this from, and that too from mechanical background, do you want to take some talk more about the challenges or something which help these students further to kind of take it through?
Yeah. So, as I'm graduated in mechanical engineering, so in my college is always almost went into COVID, so I hadn't been to college.
Mhm.
So about the coding, so I don't think that anyone, whether he's in doing engineering or BCom or BA or any other course, can't do coding, because I also started from zero.
Mhm.
And when I started, I don't remember the name of the person who taught me Python, but he told me to don't go just at the top, start from the bottom, just try to do the basic level codes first. Whenever you do basic level codes, you will gain confidence, and uh, you'll started getting gaining interest into the code, so you'll always do basic whenever you do that level of code, you gain confidence that I can do this and I can do more than this. Then always you go step by step upwards, then only you can achieve this. If you think that from the day one I'll do one basic question and then one advanced question, then it won't work for anyone, either it's from an IT background or not. Everyone started from the base, and till from that only I move forward.
Got it. So now, Sanjeev, I'll just put few pointers, because what you mentioned, it might look for people that it is very common thing, right? But this has a very deep understanding. Whenever we start, we become very impatient, right? We think that okay, it has been now 2 days. I should start with something advanced, right? It is 1 week, and I should start with something which is very fascinating. And when you start searching about it, you will find hundreds of fascinating thing in Python, and you will never, it will never end in your life, right?
Yeah,
Something or the other. You will learn tomorrow that there is something called as ternary operator. Third day, you will talk about, you will see there are some decorators, and you will get yourself so immersed in that, that at the end you will be nowhere, and you will get more and more underconfident. That's very important, that you start from basic, you stick to a kind of journey where you have certain topics one by one, you are trying to take it through, and then you go to a certain level, right? That's what
yeah,
I believe, because this is something people generally they don't understand, and people from IT background, they have this understanding. They know that okay, if let's say I have not learned Python, I have the understanding of other language, this is where I start, and I don't have to get bothered about something which is very hi-fi. I have to start it from these things. There are certain things which I have to do, right? That's what the difference between non-IT versus IT. You have to take a very patient and structured journey throughout this, and this is what will give you confidence at the end. Correct?
yes, right.
Now, just one more thing. I think most of the question here is from that angle itself, where from non-IT to this, how do I take it through? Like Deepak has mentioned working in BPO, long working hours, try tired of this, is this course or whatever I have. Okay. So Deepak, for this, I think we will not be the right person. Admission counselor after us will be taking you through, and you can connect with Pratiksha. She will be joining on stage. Further, you can have a discussion. Now, one very interesting thing what I want to put over here, Sanjeev, for you. So Manoj has asked, just to ask, caption project will help while getting job. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that is the most important thing from the interview prospect.
Hmm.
So if I tell you about my interview experience, so I got shortlisted in Zomato, but unfortunately there was something due to which I won't be interviewed. My second interview day, I got two interviews for two companies, UPL and one another. And in both the companies, they both asked only about Capstone project. In UPL, I taught them about my Capstone project. I had worked with Python, and in the other one, I with Power BI.
Hmm.
So I think Capstone project is almost contribute 50% of the interview preparation among all. Apart from coding and other things, in Capstone project also involves a uh, contributes a necessary or you can say a necessary part of interview preparation.
I think there is some internet connection issue from Sanjeev's end. But to just summarize this for everyone over here, Sanjeev, you are back. You can continue.
I was telling that if you are learning any technology or if you are with any technology, so you should have at least one project on it. So you should get a deep understanding about how things are worked and how things work and why they work. This gives a lot working with capstones.
Correct, correct, correct. And very rightly said here, Sanjeev. So, point is, guys, just as Sanjeev mentioned, right, during your interview, so there are phases of interview, right? There are levels of interview as well. And the first kind of selection process or assessment will be on coding. It might be, let's say, there will be some assessment, case study might be given to you. But when you are there in the interview, facing the interviewer, all they are going to focus on is how much experience do you have in terms of hands on, right? It might not be working experience, but do you have something where you have worked end to end, right? Where you have contributed enough so that you have understood somewhere which is related or near to your real job. So when you do the analysis, what you are going to work on your project versus what you're going to work in company, that will be two different things. But the mindset, starting from scratch, going till the end, figuring out in between that how you should be driving insights from everything. So that is something which you do in your capstone project in very elaborated manner, is it not, Sanjeev, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And at the end of it, when you go there and when you explain it, that will take most of your time, as Sanjeev mentioned, right? 50% of time, and 50% on something which you have done. Interviewer has very less understanding about it. So project, just remember, project, you have done it. Interviewer just listen to you and then try to ask some question. So this gives you a lot of comfort that you are not bombarded with Python question or Power BI questions and other questions. Rather, it's in your own court, where interviewer is asking about your project which you have worked on, you are confident about, right? That's how it happens.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Great. Now let me take up questions from Q&A. So Arun is asking, does companies hire fresher for data scientist or data analyst? Let me take this up, Sanjeev, right? This question. So here, if I talk about hiring freshers for data scientist or data scientist, very few companies, very rarely. Data analyst, yes. For data analyst, companies do hire. So if I talk about at Alma Better also, the salary, the CTC, and etc., that can be very different from working professional versus fresher. But yes, opportunities are there, and there they are mostly focusing on the basics, fundamentals, not focusing on the hi-fi things like you should know deep learning or etc., right, Sanjeev? You will never be asked about the tough or the hi-fi things. It's always about the fundamental skills. How good you are with Python, how good you are with SQL, how do you have the understanding of Power BI or Tableau? Most importantly, Power BI, I would say. How do you know how to explain your projects? Do you know how to present yourself? As a fresher, these things, it might, lot of people, they undermine this. They think about that, okay, I am good at coding, I can do everything, and when they go to interview, they are not able to clear it even if they get the opportunity. So that is something for working professional, it's easy. They have seen the professional setup, right? They have seen how people work in companies, so they, it's easy for them to present themselves. But as a fresher, you have not seen the other side of it in company. You have to get the feel of it. So the most importantly, you will get hired, companies will give you opportunity, but how good you are in terms of your skill, that will matter a lot, right? Okay, so now for you, there is one more question, right? Which I want to understand, which you should be answering over here. So, Siva, one person has mentioned, Siva Banerjee, that can I learn the course in 4 to 6 months? And as I have left my job and searching to switch my field, what are your take? Because you, as a student, you have gone through the course, you have seen the difficulty level, you have seen the depthness of everything which we have covered. Do you want to take that forward?
Yeah. So, as part of my curriculum, it was around 6 months to take the it took around 6 months to complete the course, but I was learning at my own pace. So, it for me it took around 8 to 9 months. But if someone is working without a job or without any plan B, so I think you can complete it within 4 to 6 months. 4 to 6 months is, from my point of view, is enough if you are contributing enough time in daily basis consistently and improving your skills, then you can surely complete it within that time frame.
Got it, got it. Although, see, I totally understand from your point of view, right? 4 to 6 months is something where people can complete it. But what I feel is, in general, when you push it through, right? During the initial, take 3 months. But after that, maybe you just take 1 or 2 months extra to complete rest of the things. But initial, when Python and SQL is going on, the first 3 modules, put as much as time as you can. Practice, don't just complete for the sake of completing it, right? That is what my point would be. Because it's, if you want to complete, you can complete very easily, but understanding things and evaluating yourself whether you are learning it or not, that is also very important, you know. So at every point of time, you can do complete, Shiva, you can complete the course in 4 to 6 months, but all you have to make sure at the end is whether you are understanding the concept or not. So that is what my suggestion would be for you. All right, Arun. So Arun has asked. This is something which I will clarify. I have one doubt, that one post from Dharni Puta in see all these things. You will find it. It's there. There are sides of the story. So if you want to get the further clarification, please do reach out to support team. They will give you the story. They will give you the all the sides how it happens. Because at the end of it, Alma Better, we are trying to solve the first job in tech domain, and the effort it goes in the back end to facilitate this, it's something which I don't want to in fact cover here, because it will take hours to kind of explain. Because just imagine, placing one person is difficult. There are a lot of colleges, lot of different colleges, they are there to do their job, but at the end it becomes so difficult for them. We as a edtech institute, we have come in, we are trying to put lot of things around it, so it's very difficult kind of to take it through. But at the end of it, we are here to solve this problem, and one person at a time. And there will be lot of people, with Sanjeev. After Sanjeev, there will be people who will be coming in and getting the result at the end. Now, next is, we will take few more questions, and then we can give it to Pratiksha to take it forward, right? Otherwise, people will kind of become impatient. So now, Abhishek, from where did you start your daily practice projects? Can you tell me best website? Okay, so Sanjeev, you can take this. This is for you specifically. So daily practice and project from you, where you have taken it.
Okay, so as when I was in my curriculum to complete the course, so I at that time I don't mess up all the things. Just take an example. If I am at Python or SQL, so I used to learn only that. When I moved to other BI platforms, Then I take 2 to 3 hours to learn those technologies. And at the end of the day, I always used to code. I always used to work on my coding skills to enhance Python and SQL. When I entered Elma X at that time, also we maintained the pace. We used to contribute 2 to 3 hours daily to code. We used to code in both the languages, Python and SQL, separately. We had planned a time frame that within this time frame we had to work on Python, and in this time frame we have to work on SQL, and then other technologies also. That I'm not mm, that much brilliant to cover all of these at once. So I always try to contribute as much as time I can on those things, to cover everyone within the time frame. That if I had planned this much in the day, so I try to complete it by the day end. That was my curriculum.
Got it. Got it. Sanjeev, see, one more thing which I want to mention over here. I disagree on one thing, that when you mention that you are not brilliant, I cannot take all the things simultaneously. In fact, no matter, whatever it is, right? Nobody should do things simultaneously, right? It's all about putting focus on few things. In fact, on a daily basis, I suggest that, in fact, if you are doing the practice, you should focus on one day, you should focus on either Python or SQL, right? So that you don't jumble up your mind. So you do it alternatively, something like that. But if you do two things or three things on the same day, nowhere you will put your mind to train it. Because sometimes what happens, you solve the question, then you get out of it, and subconsciously your mind kind of figure it out, put it in your subconscious mind, so that when it is asked again, you remember it. Okay. So I'll disagree on that. It's not about it's you, even if you are brilliant or whatever you consider yourself, nobody should do things simultaneously, right? So that is where you have to that is where everybody should be very clear about it. Okay. Next, I think we have taken most of the questions, and most of the things now are repetitive only, right? And end to end, we have discussed it, Sanjeev. And here, let me check if we have missed something, right? Quickly, we will check it, and then we will go ahead with the next piece of it. So last thing which I see, Utsav. So as a fresher, how much package we can expect from the company data science? Also, my concern in mathematics, this is included or not, as I'm weak at mathematics. So this question, let's keep it as last, guys. And if you guys have any further question, next admission counselor will be taking it up. And Ansari, you can do connect with us, because your case I have to go through it in a much more detail. Let's take the Utsav question here, Sanjeev. So this is for you. So how much package? You can just give a rough number from your top of your head, whatever fills it, right? And then after that, concern about mathematics and how much it is asked, how much you have to put focus there.
Uh, so first, I want to take up the mathematics part. So it's not necessary that you have to be excellent on in mathematics. If you have the basic understanding, I hope everyone has the basic understanding of mathematics. So that one is sufficient, because you are not going to be 100% to learn everything at once. So you'll learn step by step. So you'll also learn mathematics at the same pace. And it's not the maths you had learned in school or anywhere. It's totally different, and you will enjoy learning this stuff. And secondly, about the salary package. So my salary is in the range of 9 to 12 lpa, and you can expect a good number greater than me. If uh, what is the word, I'm not getting the word. If you can expect a salary range from 4 lpa to as much as you can score.
So here, Utsav Sanjeev has mentioned, right? See, at the end of it, ek aur cheez what I want to focus on, right? So here, Sanjeev mentioned his salary range, right? Uh, Now, at the end of it, guys, it's all about your skill, right? The amount of effort what Sanjeev put in, he got the result. If you are going to put the effort, if you are going to put focus rightly, you will get the result in the similar fashion. Now, the first job when you go, right? I always in the session, with students, whenever I have a discussion, right, I'll always mention this, that first job, uh, there are two sides of it, because you are beginning your career. So package is of course one thing where you should be getting, where you should be comfortable financially, but other side is you should be very clear about, लर्निंग साइड ऑफ इट. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है, अच्छी कंपनी होती है, कम पैकेज दे रही होती है, यू शुड टेक इट, so that you start your journey, you have some experience over there, and then over the time, because it's a long term gain, it's a 2 3 years 4 years ka gain. When you, after 1 year, when you kind of switch it, you will see your salary going in higher range. After 2 years, if you switch, you will see your salary to be a very, in a very good range. So that's how it happens. So learning is something, experience is something, I would say, is first thing which you should be focusing on. At a certain level which is non negotiable for you, you can put a certain threshold कि इतना तक है चलेगा, but उसके ऊपर जो है जितना भी आ जाए, it's fine, but I am going to focus more on the experience side of it. So that aspect also I want to put it across, uh, in terms of package. All right, let me take up one more thing. I think Ansari has asked in a very detailed manner, and multiple times he has mentioned. So Ansari has written, I am pass out of 2021 in mechanical engineering, but worked as a AWS trainer in 2023 for around 7 to 8 months, in which I have worked in data analytics, providing training in AWS. After that, I am still unemployed. So how will this program help me? So Ansari, see, at the end of it, you have worked as AWS trainer, you have understanding of cloud, right? That's a very big positive point. Now, I have to understand the other side of it, because AWS cloud, it has certain component where it helps with data engineering, it helps with cloud engineering. Whether you should aim for cloud engineering or data analytics, all those aspect, it has to be kind of explored from our end, from admission counselor end. So when you talk to admission counselor, after that, if you want to talk to me further, we can have a discussion, I can guide you with that, that is not an issue. But at the end of it, it is something where I have to understand it clearly, that as an AWS trainer, maybe your direction should be cloud engineer, right? If I'm not wrong, Sanjeev. So this is something which you can also second, right? You have been working in the company now, and you are working as data engineer more specifically. So if you, somebody has the experience of AWS trainer, then what direction you should be taking, it's better to be discussed in a very different setup. So Ansari, have a discussion with admission counselor, and then after that, you can just have a discussion later one on one, and then get yourself cleared how you should be taking things forward. So from our end, guys, that is all. We will have further sessions. We will have more and more session. Ensure that your doubts are resolved, your questions are answered, and you guys are benefited for the time you guys have invested in this session. Thank you so much, Sanjeev. I have to thank you a lot. You have been very patient. You have answered all the questions, and you have been here on weekend, taking out time to help out all these students. So again, from deep of my heart, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking out your time.
Thank you so much.
And guys, thank you so much to all of you for joining the session. Now, our admission counselor Pratiksha will be taking it forward. Please do ask any relevant question about the program if you're interested, etc., etc. You can take the discussion forward, connect with the right person, and then after that, you can make your decision and take it forward. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Now, Pratiksha. Hey, Pratiksha.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi
Welcome
Alok,
to
hi
the session.
Sanjeev.
Welcome to the session, Pratiksha. Now it's all yours.
Thank you
It's
so
all
much. Yeah,
yours. We will go out of
sure,
the stage now. Thank you
sure,
so much,
sure.
everyone. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. Happy weekend, guys.
Yeah. So I hope this session is really helpful for you guys. So basically, this session is particularly for the people who are coming from non-technical background and want to switch into data science, right? So I hope Sanjeev have shared his experience and that will be helpful for you guys to take a decision further. Now let's understand why Alma Better is like having job guarantee programs. So here in this session, we are moving forward with the three details where we are going to discuss about the Alma Better courses, about the fee structure, and at the end, I'm going to show you the success stories. And stay till the end, guys. I have one good surprise for you all. So I hope you will going to love that surprise. So let's just quickly start. And meanwhile, if you have any questions for me, you can just post it down in the chat box, and I'm happy to answer all your queries, right? And good to see old people over here. Hi, Divya. Hi, Prajwal. Hi, Anil. Yeah. So let me just quickly share my screen, and let me just like just give me a thumbs up once you see my screen, guys. So I hope my screen is visible to you all. Can I get yes, no in the chat box? Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. So basically, Alma Better is helping people for taking a transition into IT, right? So here we are taking students in a batch where we are teaching you everything from scratch to the professional level, right? And here you will be having a group discussions, one-on-one doubt solving sessions, and that you can take unlimited. That will be the best part. And here we have a specific course with the certification and for the master's degree. Now we will going to discuss who can choose a certification course and other one who can choose a master's degree program, right? So let's just I'm just giving you a little overview how our learning phase goes well. So basically you will be going to study in groups where you will be doing a projects in team, and then you will be get ready for the jobs. So these are the three different stages that you will be going to have, and you can just go through with these three stages in entire program. Now we are having like as I mentioned, we are covering everything from basic to the professional level. So if you have a doubt that you're coming from non-technical background, will I be able to learn the course? Definitely yes, you will able to learn the course. The second best part of it, if someone wants to have a language barrier, for example, I get so many questions that my English is not very much good, so will I able to learn this course? Definitely yes, because we are not using, you can say, a very, you can say, high class English. We are using a nominal English which is in an Indian accent. Secondly, the best part of it, comfortable with the separate language as well. Now we are having this 20 plus capstone projects in the program. So I'm going to show you a dashboard as well where I can explain you better in detail, right? Then everything is a live over here. Like live sessions are there with lifetime of recorded lectures will be there. Then, as I mentioned before as well, we have unlimited doubt solving session, one-on-one mentorship sessions will be there. Then we have a 50 plus mock interviews. So these are the assumptions that we are having. For example, if you are coming from non-IT background and if you have a gap years with you, so I can share your success stories where the people who are already having 6 to 7 years of gap, and then they restarted their career as a data analytics or a data scientist. But in that case, just make up in your mind that you need to put more efforts from your end, guys. See, everything depends upon the candidate, right? How you're performing, how you are learning, because here we can just show you the path, how we will going to take you with us, right? But at the end, you need to study, you need to work hard to get a good job. Then we are promising you that we will going to give you 100% job guarantee where we are having 700 plus partners with us. So we have startups, we have MNCs, and the major hiring partner is a Amazon. Believe me, we have 95% of success rate in the terms of the placement, right? So can you imagine if you are just putting a little efforts from your end, and then definitely you can switch into the IT field. Yeah. Next, then this is the learning activities that we are having. So basically we have a live lectures, we have a lab experiment. So basically on most of the Saturdays you have an option that you can have a one-on-one, you can say a session with the mentorship where you can take a career guidance, your projects, everything you can discuss apart from your regular curriculum, right? Then you will be doing a projects in a group, and the assignments that will held after every session. So in total there will be 135 plus assignments in the entire course of 6 months. Then after that, like you will be having a specialization track if you are a student of master's degree program. Then we have a group discussions which is basically held mostly on Saturdays. Then we are having one-on-one mentorship that, as I already mentioned. Then we have a guest lectures. This is specially dedicated with IIT Guwahati trainers. So the trainers who are there in the IIT, they are there to take the session. Then we are having this community participation, so you will be a part of the community, right? Then we are having a mandatory alma x, where we are having a capstone projects. And so basically we have one examination called EBCAT exam. So if you are like, let me just give you a firstly just overview, and then I'm going to explain you everything in a detail, right? Then we are having this capstone project. So these are the companies that we are collaborated with. So we are having 700 plus partners like Amazon, we have Novartis, we have Mintra. So there are so many companies you can see on the screen. There are so many more, but here we have just mentioned the limited companies that you can see. Then these are the like salary that basically we have. A to this is like 8 to 9 is our average package. This is particularly for the certification, you can assume. But yeah, if you are a master's degree student, so you can expect a salary above 10 LPA, right? Then we are having this you can say mentors, where we are having like Alok is also a part of our mentorship. So basically Alok Anand is also taking the classes. But yes, we have the other trainers as well who are from IIT, who are from working professional, right? So basically these are mentors. Then you can see this is again the mentors. Then we have success stories. So basically here I am going to show you, this is just a, you can say a little overview. Then I'm going to share your particular profiles where you can have you can connect on the LinkedIn, where you can just have a one-on-one conversation as well, where you will be having a detailed manner, you can say, discussion with the students and with the alumni. So we have just having like the one example who just was there on this meet with us. So that is Sanjeev, but we have different more examples with us. Then this is like, let me just show you, this is the, you can say, a major or a highlighted part that everyone is here for, waited for, right? So let me just share you my screen again, and you can have a look. So just give me a thumbs up, guys, once you see my screen again. So Arun, you have mentioned that, can you provide me a LinkedIn profile of Sanjeev? Sure, sure. I am going to share the several other profiles as well at the end of the session. Please stay tuned till the end, and I'm going to share everything with you. Yeah. So let's just quickly share the dashboard walkthrough, where you can see. So can you see my screen, guys? Can you see my screen, guys? Yes, no, anything? Can you see my screen? Let me, okay, let me just share once again. Let me just share once. So basically, we have this like a dashboard walkthrough where we are having this like a home learn and a classroom practice project sessions, where we are having. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible to you all. Now we are going to have this. This is a dashboard basically. So here we have a different tab, that is home, learn, classroom, practice. Then we have career option, mentorship, and the best part is that we have a job board as well with us. Yeah. So I am going to just give you a overview one on one, where you will be having everything in detail, and then I'm going to show you. So this is the learning tab. For example, if someone wants to learn this course little early, right? So basically you have an option to have this 6 months program, where you can end up this course little early in 4 or 5 months, right? So you can see the progress that I haven't done anything. So it is just showing you 1%. But yes, definitely you will be going to learn this course in 4 to 6 months, but only with a recorded version, right? So here you have an option to do your classes live, that we always want the student to do all the session live. But if in case if you are little hurry for the job, right, if you want the job early, so you can do this course with the recorded sessions as well. So here can you see, like, this is the entire course recording that you can hear. Once you're done with the recording, for example, you can resume learning, and then you can able to see the different chapters. So this is how it works, right? Then we are having this classroom tab, where you will be having your live session schedule. For example, today, can you see there is no live session? That is why it is showing you no classes are scheduled for today. But yeah, if you are having a session, so you will able to see 7 days entire schedule over here. Then we are having this completed tab. So for example, I have taken my class, but I want to rewatch that session, right? So here we have a completed tab option, where you can view recording, and here you will able to see all the things. Then we are having this practice session, where we are having this all problems unsolved, and then we are having a quiz assessment. Then we are having this new projects. So basically it is updated, I guess. Earlier it was only 20. So here in certification, if you are enrolled in a certification course, so the project will be a 20, where 6 projects will be the compulsory. But if you are enrolling for a master's degree program, then it will be 26 in total. So I guess 8 projects you need to do the compulsory. So here, as I mentioned, we have 2 courses. I'm going to coming at the end on that courses as well, where we have 2 courses. So for both the programs, you have a certain different criteria with you. Then we have this career option with you, where you will be having this foundation track. So for example, you will be having this. Just a minute, guys. My screen is not moving. Just a minute. Okay, so here you will be having this career. Let me just explain you. So basically, if you're a student of certification, right? So you will be having a proper examination that we call AB CAT exam. That is a mandatory exam that you will be having for your, you can say, for the job, for the placement. I'm not sure. Okay, so this is the exam that we are having. So basically, if you're a student of a master's degree program, so the best part is this exam is not be there for you guys. You can directly enter into Almec. So this is the better advantage that you will be having for the master's degree. But if you are having a certification course, so you need to clear this AB CAT exam. So what exactly, let's understand what exactly this AB CAT exam. So this AB CAT exam is something which, whatever things that you are learning in your entire 6 months journey, that is purely based on that. So I hope you guys have heard about amplitude test that will be held in the companies, right? So basically this examination is purely based on that, where you will be having everything related to your course, like Python, SQL, Power BI, or if you're a part of web development, so you will be having like course structure will be same, but AB CAT exam is something where whatever course that you have chosen, so it is according to that. But if you are having a master's degree, so you don't have this examination, because we have removed that examination from for the master's degree program, right? This is we have a mentorship. So basically this is particularly for the data science professional. So for example, if I want to talk to the anyone, the people who are working as a data scientist, basically these are the people who are a industry expert. So here, apart from your doubt solving session related to your curriculum, you can ask anything from here. So you need to do, you can just book the session. For example, I want to guidance about job counseling, right? So I can just click here job counseling, and then I can press next, and then I can have a schedule, and according to my preference I can choose a days, except Saturdays and Sunday. You can choose Monday to Friday anytime, from 12 p.m to 8 p.m anytime, right? then this is the most interesting part that Alma Better is having. So for example, I am a part of Alma Better, and side by side I want to do a job as well. So here there is an option for you guys, that here you can mention a location, then you can mention a hybrid, on-site and a remote option. Then you will be having a data scientist or a web development. So for example, let's just select data science. So can you see, I have heard from so many people that in the market we don't have a jobs, there are so many recessions are going on. So can you see, there are number of jobs are there available, there are number of things that will be available over here. So can you see that here everything is there. So if you are having a right skill set, guys, if you are having a right skill set, so definitely you will be having everything. Yeah. If let's select for the web development, so can you see the number 2406? So there are number of jobs available in the market. If you have a right skill set, definitely you will able to have a job with you. Yeah. And even if you're planning for any internship, meanwhile you are learning the course, you know Python, SQL, but side by side you want to do a job as well, or a paid internship. So there, here you can select the internship options as well. So this is a paid internship, right? So from here you can have this internships with you as well. So can you see, so there are number of things that you can like take a advantage from the course. Guys, any questions from your end, anything, you can write it down in the chat box. Then we have this help options with you, where you can have a live support. So for example, I have taken my class, but I have a doubts with me, right? So I can have this live session one on one with me, where I can have a discussion with the trainer, right? So I can just select this and I can have a one on one session with the trainer. So for example, these are the subject matter expert basically, where if I have anything with me, so I can have a one on one session. So while I'm studying, I don't need to wait for my next class to happen. I have an option to have one on one doubt solving queries with the trainer. I hope this much is pretty clear to you guys. Any doubt? Any doubt, guys? Any doubt? Any concerns? You can write it down in the chat box. Or this dashboard walkthrough is clear to you all? Yes, no, thumbs up, anything that I can hear from your end. Clear. Okay. From others, I hope this session is helpful for you. I'm here to answer, just to give you little overview about the course, because every person have a different criteria, right? Every person have a different, you can say, their studies, their experience was different. So here we are just giving you little overview. If you are choosing Alma Better, so how we are helping people, right? And the most you can say the advantage that we have, that will be having for the job level, right? So I hope everyone who joined over here, it is particularly for the job prospect, right? So here I just wanted to show you that we have a separate placement team as well. So if you are looking for a job, so definitely we will going to help you for each and everything in a detail, right? Apart from it, at the end I'm going to drop my number as well. So if you want to book your counseling session with me one on one, you can have that, and I'm going to explain you everything according to your journey, right? Here we are just having just an overview, that's it. So Arun, you have a doubt that I have one doubt that one post recently, can you please clarify? I haven't checked this post, I guess. I haven't checked. Can you just write little brief, Arun, that what exactly you have heard, and then I can answer your queries. I'm not aware of this post, I guess. I'm not aware of this post. So meanwhile, let's go back to the topic that we were discussing about. So we were discussing about the that courses, right? So this is about the dashboard walkthrough, guys. Now we are going ahead, and I'm going to like tell you about the course. So basically, Alma Better is having two courses. One is for the 6 months, other one is the master's degree program. So for 6 months course, we suggest to the people, if you are a final year student or if you are pursuing your graduation, then you can go ahead with the certification program, right? But if you are having a gap years more than 2 years, then to suggestion is to go with a master's degree. Reason, if you have a gap years, you will not able to land up for the job definitely. Reason being, companies will not consider your profiles, and that is the truth. Why? Because you have a gap years. If you are doing a certification, so you will be having even a basic package of 4 to 5 LPA only, right? Even not our average package. Then if you are choosing a degree program, then again you will be considered as a fresher only, but yes, you can start with a package around 8.5 or a 9 LPA. So doing a degree is better than a certification. It is same like if you are a diploma holder and a degree holder, right? So you know the difference, I guess, right? So same way, if you are choosing a degree program, you will be getting a better advantage. And if you are choosing a certification, so I mentioned, if you are a fresher, if you are you don't have a gap years, you are pursuing your graduation, so definitely you can choose our certification courses. Yeah, any other doubt, guys? Anything that you want to discuss? So Shiva, you are asking about the course fee and job assistance. So basically, Shiva, we provide a job guarantee program, right? So how it works? Let me just give you a little overview. So basically, we teach 6 modules in 6 months, starting with basic Python. Then we have SQL, Power BI, Tableau, machine learning, and then we have generative AI, right? Once you're done with the course, we are having 25 days of training where your resume building will be there, your LinkedIn profile updation will be there. If you don't have LinkedIn profile, we'll make you, we'll add keywords, right? Then we'll tell you how you will make a changes according to the job requirement. Tell you that what are the keywords that you need to add up whenever you are applying for a job, right? So every company have a different requirement, so according to the job description you need to put that, right? Then we will going to circulate your resume to the different companies, and according to that you will receive a calls from them, and we are going to schedule for your job and everything. So this is how it works, Shiva. So Arun, about Almax and EMI placement support. So basically, Almax is nothing. It's just our placement drive name, Arun. So basically, if you are a part, if you are planning for certification course, then there will be a Almax that we call AB. If you clear that AB CAT exam, you will be coming into the Almax. About the EMIs, yes, we offer no cost EMI for 12 months, for 24 months, depending upon your program, right? So if you go with the certification, we provide a 12 months no cost EMI. If you are going for the master's degree, it will be purely for 24 months and depends upon the profile to profile, right? About the placement support, yes, I have already answered this, I guess. This is like we are having everything, like we are having 25 days of training. Meanwhile, in 6 months you will be working on projects. So here we more focused on your, you can say, practical part. So if you're coming from a non-tech, we are not saying just open, you can just have coding and all. It's not like that. You will be having 80% of the practical and 20% of the theoretical knowledge. So basically, we are more focused on the projects, about your business communication skills. Everything is there. As Sanjeev even shared his experience, right? So the best part is not only about the teaching; it is about the other factors as well. Any other thing, guys, you want to ask? You can write it down in the chat box. Let me just check the Q&A meanwhile. So, okay, you are a working professional, so I need to understand all the technical work that I have. See, here, Jyoti, we have, so here we follow the separate criteria. So, for example, if you are a part of our course, so some people come up that I am not able to do the complete course. I just want a basic job of data analytics, right? So here we tell everyone. So we teach everything like from detailing. But in a job you have an option that you want to go with a any particular field. For example, let's take one example. If someone is coming for a data science and AI, so everyone will not go for the same job. How we bifurcate the resume? We bifurcate the resume on the basis of the experience. So for example, if you're very good in SQL, the company requirement is that I want a person who is best in Python or a SQL, right? So if you are best in Python or SQL, we are good at the machine learning part. So we forward your resume to them. So according to this, it will be shifted. It is not everyone is applying for a same job. So this is called a bifurcation that we do generally. I hope I have answered your query. Any other questions, guys? I'm checking the Q&A. Guys, no questions. If you don't have any questions, so let's find up quickly. So I was telling you about one surprise. Do you guys want to hear that, or let's wrap up the session, guys? Yes, no, anything. See, I am here just to help you, right? I'm not here to like, you are just not asking anything and I'm just telling my things to you. Yeah. So if you have a particular questions for me, you can write it down in the chat box. Any guy, any questions? So you are asking for the duration of the master's degree. So master's degree program is for 12 months, right? We take for 15 months because 3 months is for the entire job, right? So you have an option. Once you're done with the 6 months of the program, you can directly enter into the job, and side by side you can continue your master's degree program. So duration is 12 months for the master's. So you have an option. If you want a job early, you can. If you want to do the course first and then you want a job, so you can go ahead with that job as well. Guys, yes, no, anything. I'm not here to like just keep saying everything and just uh, end the session, right? So I'm dropping my number. So if anyone have any questions for me, you can connect with me personally, because as I mentioned before as well, every person have a different, you can say, experience, educational background. So you can book a one-on-one session with me, and I can like help you according to your profile. So I am here in Alma Beta, where I can have your profiling with me, and according to that I can suggest you whatever is best for you all. Yeah. So let me anyone okay, so my question was earlier that you want to see a surprise or not, yes or no? If no, so let's wrap up the session. If yes, so definitely. So Deepak said yes. So only Deepak want. Apart from Deepak, okay. So I got one other reply. That's great. That's great, guys. Thank you so much for replying. So Prajwal, you are already a part of Alma Better. So this surprise will not be, I guess, helpful for you, but definitely you can just stay. So let me just show you. So we have one offer going on with us. This is a discount basically. This is if you are planning to enroll in Alma Better, so you can just put it this code directly on the website and then you can enroll in our course. So this is a specially discount is going on right now. So if you want, if you are planning, you can just save your money and just apply this 20% discount straight away on all the courses, either certification, either master's degree. I hope you like the surprise, guys. Yes, no, anything. Someone have asked a question. Is the master's degree is UGC? No, no, no. The master's degree is not UGC approved. It's a overseas approved. See, every foreign degree is not UGC approved, but if you want to do a PhD in India, you can. That degree is valid. Okay. Thank you, Jyoti Ranjan. You like the surprise. Thank you so much, Arun, that you definitely like the surprise. And thank you so much, everyone, whosoever joining. I hope this session is little helpful for you. Just make you understand how Alma Bader is doing everything. So, Arun, yeah, we do have a EMI option with us in every course where you can connect with other if you are having already connected with the someone in our team. Apart, I have dropped my number. You can connect with me one on one. I can explain you better and I can tell you all the things. Anything that you want to discuss, guys. Apart, let's wrap up the session. And thank you so much again for joining this session. You will be having a wonderful weekend ahead. And belated happy Holi. I hope I have heard that today is also Holi at some places. So happy Holi, everyone. So Shiva have written. Okay, so I am an engineer with MBA and have a job experience of 1 year. I left my job recently. I need a certification. That's why I want certification. I have a proper job assistance and a short. Yeah, definitely, Shiva. You will be having, if you're choosing a certification, see, there is no point that you will be having a certification and the master's degree program. You can choose any of the course. We are going to give you a job on both the courses. It's just what is better for you, we suggest that. So, for example, if you are already a degree holder, right? As you mentioned, you are already a degree holder, then you can choose a head for the certification, right? You can because again doing a master's, there is no point, right? So you can go ahead with the certification, and that again we are giving you 100% guarantee. If you don't have a master's, then we suggest to go with a master's degree, because in any way you need to do a master's, not right now but after 1 or 2 years, right? So if you have a master's, you can go ahead with a certification. In certification as well, we are going to help you for the jobs. And you can see there are number of jobs available, guys. Thank you so much, Arun. Thank you. See, basically, what as my experience says, right? If you have a good skill set now, definitely you will be getting a job. This is a purely myth. Let me just give you one example, guys. This is a purely, you can say, a live example that I have. It's been so many years in this same industry, right? 4 to 5 years. So let me tell you one example. So I have seen a people like in India, you even generally thinks if we have done master's degree, if we are working, we think we are having a lot of skills. We are not upskilling ourselves, right? But can you just compare with the foreign people? If a person is there at a 40 years now, they want to have a upskillment. Why? Reason, the big reason behind it, because they don't want to lose their job. They are very much serious. But in India, if we say na 40-year people is there sitting in the class, the person will feel uncomfortable. Even there, the students, they are also feel uncomfortable, right? So this is purely we need to change it, because if we want to grow, so definitely at any point of time and at any age, we can learn the things and we can upskill. And this is the big reason you will see in India people like get laid off because they are not upskilling themselves. So imagine if you are an entrepreneur, will you able to hire the person who knows the older technology, right? Definitely not. So if you are having a good skill set, never never ever the layoff happens. It only happens if the skill set doesn't match the requirements. And that is a pretty truth. I hope you all are agree with this. Yes, no, anything. So I think that is done. I am done with from my end. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session. Same to you, Prajwal. Happy weekend. Happy weekend, everyone. So as I mentioned that I have dropped my number. Apart, you can just connect. If you're connected with someone in our team, you can connect back with them. I have dropped my number. My name is Pratiksha. And if you want to have a one-on-one conversation with me, you can just ping me up right now. You can just send me hi on the WhatsApp, and you can have a one-on-one conversation with me. You can, if someone is calling me, so you can call me after 5 to 10 minutes, and I will be there on available on the calls. Yeah. Thank you so much everyone for joining this session. Thank you.